Hello and welcome to the Lazy Podcast. This is episode 5 of the Lazy Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about everything and anything. So if you're new here, please make sure you subscribe. And if you're listening from Spotify or anywhere else, make sure you subscribe there too. And make sure you check out the channel as well, the rest of the channel, because there's some very interesting stuff. So episode 5, who would have thought that we would make it this far? In this episode, I thought we would talk about a couple of things. First topic I want to talk about is PewDiePie signed a new exclusive deal with YouTube to only stream on YouTube, and how kind of the media is like, what the media is reporting and all of that. This is similar to, and I have talked about this topic before. There is a video on the channel called YouTubers versus traditional media, which is very interesting, and I go in depth into how the media is fighting and why the media is fighting YouTube personalities like PewDiePie and other personalities. And then the next topic I want to talk about is the Snyder Cut of Justice League and how it came to be and how it happened and why now. Like, the Justice League came out in 2017, I believe, so why now? So yeah, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Maybe you hit that like button. And if you have any topics that you want me to cover on this podcast, please make sure you comment down below, or you can send me a message on my Twitter or on my Instagram. That they are in the description below, or the show notes if you're listening on Spotify. So let's go then. PewDiePie recently signed a exclusive deal with YouTube. As we know, YouTube is trying to get into like the live streaming, and is trying to get all of the creators to live stream on YouTube, because on the live streaming community or live streaming war, there's other companies. There's Mixer and there's Twitch, obviously Twitch being the most popular one, but Mixer recently has got a lot of big streamers like Ninja and Shroud, I believe, and I think there's other streamers that are going to join as well. Obviously they are owned by Microsoft and they have a lot of cash, so they're trying to build their live streaming platform. And Twitch, as we know, is owned by Amazon, again, huge beasts. They have a lot of cash as well, but yes, YouTube is trying to, obviously, like as we have said in other videos, that YouTube is trying to keep people as much as possible on the platform, and they also make a huge amounts of money from live streams. I think, if you don't know, so when a live stream happens, people donate to the creator. I think YouTube keeps 40% of that. It's either 40 or 30% of the donations, so that's quite a lot of money that they keep from creators. And of course, PewDiePie last year, it was exactly like this time last year, he announced he will not be streaming on YouTube anymore. He was streaming in some weird platform, like some weird Bitcoin platform. I don't know, I wasn't watching them, but this is huge news, because it means that obviously PewDiePie got paid really well, and I personally like PewDiePie, and I like when self-made creators get the job, and self-made creators succeed. So I'm happy for that. But that's not it hasn't been very well received from the general media, from the traditional media, like newspapers and TV channels and all of that. Obviously they hate PewDiePie, and they hate a lot of self-made creators, because they are self-made and because they are getting more clicks and more views than all these traditional huge companies. As I've said, I've gone into detail to this, so make sure you watch the YouTubers versus traditional media video. It's very interesting. It will be on the description of this video or the show notes if you're on Spotify. So let's just take a couple. Let's take a look on a couple of articles that I stumbled upon. So the first article I want to quickly read is from Variety, a huge newspaper, or I don't even know if they print newspapers anymore. But so they say PewDiePie will be live streaming exclusively on YouTube under a new pact. To date, Felix Schellberg, I think it's pronounced, the prankster and video game vlogger. Jesus Christ, that is like definitely an old person saying that. Prankster and video game vlogger. I mean, no one says that. He amassed more than 104 million subscribers and generated over 25 billion views to date, by far the most of any individually operated channel on YouTube. YouTube has been my home for over a decade now, and live streaming on the platform feels like a natural fit, and I continue to look for new ways to create content, interact with fans, blah blah blah. This is taken out of a PewDiePie video, I think. And then obviously, because again, I'll just tell you about these platforms, these companies need to create views, because as I said, no one is buying newspapers anymore. I mean, I don't know anyone who's buying newspapers, and even my grandfather doesn't buy newspapers now. Even my grandfather has a phone and goes online to read. So these companies have to find alternative ways of income, and of course their websites. They have websites and they sell ads through the website. That's just how it works. But no one is actually visiting their websites, so they're not actually interested in having a good article, having a actual journalist doing the work and doing the research. They're not. And I bet this guy that's written this, he's never seen a PewDiePie video, and even if he has, PewDiePie makes a video every day, so that's like 365 videos a year. So there's so many to keep up. Unless you watch him every day, you cannot tell how he is as a person, which that's how it is. So all these companies, these newspapers, are interested in getting your click from you. As soon as they get the click from you, they get paid from the ads, and that's all they're interested. So what that means is the title has to be as catching as possible, and PewDiePie Controversial is a very catching title, as we know, because PewDiePie is a good keyword search, and of course people look for that stuff online, and it ranks higher up. So continuing on this article, we see PewDiePie has remained a controversial figure. He issued an apology in 2017. So they're talking about something that happened 3 years ago. He issued an apology in 2017 after uttering the N-word during a video game live stream. And in late 2018, he gave a shout out on one of his videos to a YouTube channel trading in white supremacist rhetoric. Right. These things happened over 2.5, 3 years ago, and they are continually writing about this stuff. This is just... PewDiePie is not the same man anymore. He's not the same person. And of course, you can make a mistake, and when you're live streaming, I imagine live streaming is really, really hard to do, because you have to be careful on what you say, and things can get, people will get things out of context, and if you say something, it will probably will be taken out of context, and then that's what these traditional media outlets want, for someone popular to say something, to make a mistake, and then they can write a whole article about it, like this shitty article here. So continuing, YouTube's live streaming deal with PewDiePie comes after PewDiePie's last year had inked an exclusive live streaming deal with DLive. Alright, yeah, that's a dodgy company called DLive. I've never heard of it, but a service that had been promising better economic terms for creators than other major platforms. I don't know if that happened. For YouTube, bringing PewDiePie into the live streaming roster steps up into rivalry with Amazon's Twitch live streaming platform. In recent months, YouTube has linked similar exclusive pacts with game creators, including Courage, Lachlan, Laserbeam. I don't know any of these guys. So the 30-year-old Shellberg, I think it's pronounced, launched his YouTube channel in 2010 and began uploading videos of Minecraft and Amnesia, blah blah blah. Yeah, we know all of that. There's actually 3 comments on this video. How the hell is he a white nationalist? Stop spreading bullshit. Yes, exactly. And yeah, why are you coming now? Yeah, exactly, yeah. So there's a comment on this article saying, why are you writing this now, like 3 years later? I mean, I know like PewDiePie signing a deal with YouTube is newsworthy, but why are you trying to bring him down? Like, they have already signed the deal, but I just don't get why they're trying. I mean, I know why, because obviously PewDiePie gets a lot more views than them. PewDiePie gets a lot more attention than them. PewDiePie gets a lot more clicks than them. He has more influence than them. So that's why it's very simple. And of course, this brings this title will bring a lot of clicks because it's a catchy and edgy title. So let's just go through another one. So The Verge, for example, wrote, PewDiePie signs exclusive live streaming deal with YouTube. Yeah, so they say more or less the same things. So nothing really new to add there. But there was a really interesting though. Right, yeah, so the Washington Post, right? The Washington Post is a dying newspaper for many years now. So this article says, right, so it says that he has signed a new deal. Last year he was streaming to D-Live and blah blah blah. So PewDiePie has been the center of several online controversies, most notably when he dropped the N-word on a live stream on YouTube. He was playing PlayerUnknown's Battleground, PUBG, no one says it like that. He apologized profusely for the incident and said that at the time it seems like I've learned nothing from all these past controversies. Oh my god. The Wall Street Journal, I will go to them as well because I think they are the worst. The Wall Street Journal highlighted several of his clips in a now infamous 2017 article as evidence, and of course they link the 2017 article here. Just this is complete bullshit. PewDiePie's toxicity. Wow. PewDiePie and his fans said clips were taken out of context, but the article, yeah, of course they were taken out of context. And of course this was the beginning of an apocalypse. PewDiePie did not start the apocalypse. But if you don't know, the apocalypse is when in 2017 a lot of brands pulled their ads from YouTube and did not start the apocalypse. That was just a pretext because they wanted to start something like that. They simply took that as a means to negotiate with YouTube for lower prices. And obviously the brands that like Coca-Cola and other brands and Pepsi I think was one of the brands, and we know these are one of the most evil companies online, so they don't care about anything other than money and other than their ads, them paying less for ads. So it's a bit it's a bit like them trying to be better, but it's not actually like that. So yeah, nothing interesting in this article as well. The Washington Post. And then there's this one, which is this. No, this doesn't say anything. So yeah, I think personally, to wrap up this PewDiePie section, I think it's a great thing that he has signed a deal with YouTube for only live streaming on YouTube, and that's great for PewDiePie. That's great for everyone basically, and it's great for creators as well, because that means YouTube is trying to keep creators on the platform. YouTube in the past has not been the best in trying to keep creators and trying to help creators of the platform. I think they are trying to do their best, and because as well this is quite new still. It's like the last 10 years of creators. It's not like we have actors. We've had actors for like 100 years or something. So this is a new space. The creator and the YouTuber and the like the Instagrammer, or like the So this is overall, I think this is a great deal. And so now moving on to the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Of course, Justice League came out in 2017, and so to give you a little bit of context for the Snyder Cut, basically Zack Snyder was the architect of the DCEU. He made Man of Steel in 2013, and from there, obviously, Warner Brothers, WB, were, like really excited to have a cinematic universe, just like Marvel were doing. But the only problem is that Marvel had a plan, had all the cinematic universe planned out, that they wanted all of the movies, the individual movies for the individual characters before they had a team up. So they already had, when they made the Avengers in 2012, they've already had 2 Iron Man movies, 1 Captain America and 1 Thor movie. So the characters were fully stretched out. So we've already seen the characters. So the Avengers movie did not have that to do as well, to introduce the characters, because then the job and the movie has a lot more to do than, as a team up movie has a lot more to do if you have to introduce characters as well. It had to introduce, I think didn't have to introduce any characters, because we've seen Black Widow and we've seen Hawkeye before, so immediately the movie becomes a lot easier. So then, obviously, I think Zack Snyder wanted to make a Man of Steel 2 movie or a Batman movie, but then obviously he was pressured by Warner Brothers, because they wanted a cinematic universe and they wanted it fast. So he was pressured to make Batman vs Superman, and he did not want to make that. And he had another movie planned, and obviously studio interference wanted Batman v Superman, and Batman v Superman was marketed for like 4 years or something. They sold merch for like at least 3 or 4 years earlier, and it had a budget of like 350 million or even more than that. And for Justice League, Zack Snyder had planned 2 movies, so Justice League Part 1, Justice League Part 2. And they were going to start shooting as soon as Batman v Superman hits theaters. So Batman v Superman hits theaters. The movie is not that well liked. Again, this movie is a bastard version of what Zack Snyder actually wanted, but was pressured from the studio, because obviously Batman sells a lot of toys and Superman sells toys, and there was Wonder Woman in there crammed, and there was a cameo for Aquaman, and there was a cameo for Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg as well. So as you can see, this is a really packed movie to introduce everyone. So Batman v Superman it's not that well liked by critics or by fans either. And then it's not a flop. I think it made like 650 million or something like that worldwide, which for any other movie is a lot of money. But when you've spent 350 million to make a movie, and maybe another 100, or I don't know how much they spent on marketing this movie. As I said, they were marketing this movie at least 3 years prior to the release, so there's a lot of money spent there too. So let's just say 450 million. So if you spend 450 million and you only make 650, so you only made like 200 million back, 250 million back. That is not, from a business perspective, that is not a huge return. So immediately Warner Brothers, after Batman v Superman comes out, immediately Warner Brothers panics and they order reshoots and rewrites for Justice League. They cancel the second Justice League movie, so they will. At this point, there's only one Justice League movie being made, and there's like rumors that they were writing scenes through the day to shoot the next day, or even to shoot the same day. So there's like a lot of money being spent. There's a lot of changes because again, Warner Brothers panicked with Batman v Superman, and about halfway through the production of Justice League, Zack Snyder leaves the production because of a family tragedy. So Warner Brothers then thinks it's wise to bring Josh Whedon, who made the Avengers movie. So just Josh Whedon, obviously a completely different director to Zack Snyder. As we know, Zack Snyder has his own distinctive look. Like him or hate him, his movies look very good. And again, like him or hate him, at least he had some sort of a vision for this universe and for these movies in general. And obviously, Josh Whedon came in, rewrote the whole thing, made extensive reshoots, changed the whole color of the movie. And Warner Brothers forces him to have a movie under 2 hours, which is impossible for a team-up movie. Especially a team-up movie where you have to introduce half the characters. So everything changes. And then, obviously, we see Wonder Woman came out before that, and there was some good signs that the DCEU was going somewhat well. And then Justice League completely flopped, and the Flash movies pushed back, and the Batman movie that Ben Affleck is writing, and Justice League was a complete disaster. You could see obviously Henry Cavill's mustache digitally removed because he was not allowed to shave his mustache for the reshoots because he was shooting another movie, and I think it was like Universal or Paramount Pictures making the movie with Tom Cruise, and he was not allowed to shave. So they thought, we know what we're gonna do, CGI it's great, and it was a disaster. And eventually Ben Affleck dropped out of Batman. Like in general, he did not want to be Batman on any Justice League movie or on his own movie. And then Warner Brothers at this point completely had fucked up everything, completely continued to make one mistake after another. So now that I've told you I've given you the context of how Justice League came to be, and the whole Zack Snyder story, and how he was done dirty by Warner Brothers and all that. Obviously, Warner Brothers is a huge multi-billion company. All they care about is money and profit, and that's how it works. So now, almost 3 years later, people have been wanting the Snyder Cut. Basically, it's a version of the movie, because apparently there was like 70 or 80% of the movie shot by Zack Snyder, and obviously Josh Whedon came in, and then he redid a lot of things. So there was this rumor that there is a cut out there, even from, by the cast and Zack Snyder himself. So there was this rumor that there is a Snyder Cut out there. It only needs to be made. Of course, people have wanted this for 3 years now, and for it to come this late is a bit of a shock to everyone. And the story behind it is actually really simple, and it's a very good business move from AT&T. So if you don't know, AT&T, the American company, owns Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers owns DC Comics. So that's how AT&T, like the corporate overlords of Warner Brothers, they also own HBO, and we know HBO, huge television network, and they have been trying to launch their HBO Max or HBO Plus. I think it's called HBO Max. Yes, HBO Max, which is basically their Netflix and their Disney Plus and their Amazon Prime. And what better way to make this with a Snyder Cut and of a movie that people have been wanting for years. And from a marketing perspective, this is great. It blew up everywhere. Twitter was flooded with the Snyder Cut, and everyone was talking about it. So from a marketing perspective, this makes a lot of sense. So they're trying to launch their HBO Max streaming service, and it makes sense that you have something original. So this is going to be either a 6-hour, a 1 hour part, 1 hour episode in 6 parts, or is this going to be like something really long, like 4 hour movie or something? I don't think they have decided yet, but there's this article from the Hollywood Reporter saying HBO Max will debut the project in 2021, possibly in a 4-hour director's cut or in 6 TV-style chapters. So exactly as I said. So as the Helmer gets the gang back together with the original post-production crew to score, cut, and finish visual effects. So basically, I think they're going to spend something like 20 to 30 million to obviously score and cut and finish the visual effects, because there's like a lot of shots that need visual effects and then need post-production in general. So how is it possible that they are doing it now? Why are they doing it now, you ask? I can hear you ask. AT&T is trying to obviously launch HBO Max, but they're also trying to course correct the DCEU and what Warner Brothers have been doing, because they're fucking up lately. They fucked up pretty well. And why is this a huge deal? It is because people have been asking for years, and a lot of people said you should never, do what the fans want, and that is stupid. I think that's like one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Why would you not do what the fans want? The fans are paying for it. The fans are the ones who will see it. So obviously, I don't get this. Like I was really shocked when I heard this. So Warner Brothers did not want, even though the cut is there. So as I said, there's probably like 80% of the movie there. All they need to do is post-production, visual effects, and all of that, because Zack Snyder had to leave the project because of his family tragedy. But Warner Brothers was not willing to make this because it would show how incompetent they were, and it would show all the mistakes they made, and it would show that all the studio interference that Zack Snyder had before Justice League, with because he didn't even want to make Batman v Superman in the first place. He was forced to make Batman v Superman, and then his 2-part movie, because you gotta understand that a 2-part movie became a 1 movie, and that's a lot of characters and a lot of development from 2 movies to go into 1 movie. And then they completely scrap his version of the movie, and they make a new 2-hour bastard version. So obviously DC did not want that out there, and there's a lot of rumors about, like a David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, and I'm not sure that that's because obviously there was a lot of studio interference again with Suicide Squad. They about like 80 or 90% when the movie was almost finished, there was a cut apparently that rumor has it that it was unwatchable. So what they did is they hired a trailer company to make the movie more colorful and more like, poppy and pop music and funny and all of that. So again, it's Warner Brothers here that is to blame because their incompetence of not allowing their directors and their people to do what they best know. Like, how can you green light a movie and then about 80% of it you say, oh wait, I don't like it? You either do not green light it in the first place, or you let it finish and you live with the consequences. Of course, that could not happen. They decided to spend even more money to make something even worse. So yeah, that is all for today. It has been more than 30 minutes now that I'm rambling around about PewDiePie and the Snyder Cut. As far as the Snyder Cut goes, my God, I cannot even speak today. The Snyder Cut, I'm not even sure it's going to be a good movie, but I'm really happy that Zack Snyder will get to make his version of the movie, because again, as I said, Zack Snyder is not the most traditional filmmaker. He has his own very distinctive style and his own look. So I'm really happy that he's gonna get, like his chance to finish his version of the movie. And I really hope that AT&T, because it seems like they've taken over all of the creative decisions from Warner Brothers, and I really hope that they give Snyder another chance to make the DCEU. And another thing that I did not get the time to talk about is in 2021 they also have the new Batman with Robert Pattinson debuting. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Again, that Robert Pattinson movie was greenlit by Warner Brothers. So is it possible that we see it cancelled? Is it possible that we don't see that movie doesn't see the light of day? I don't know, because I loved Ben Affleck as Batman on this DCEU. I think you can see really clearly that Ben Affleck from the reshoots on Justice League, he's fat and he's out of shape. And you can see him how hard he trained, because Ben Affleck trained really, really hard to be Batman. And there's going to be a lot of like controversies, like talks on Batman, which Batman is better. And I really hope that maybe AT&T can get Ben Affleck back as Batman, because I think Ben Affleck is the best Batman that we've ever gotten. He's very suited. He suits that, Bruce Wayne, because he looks like a Bruce Wayne rich guy, and then that Batman, like deep voice, manly. So, and Robert Pattinson, even though I like him as an actor, I don't know if he's gonna be a good Batman or even a good Bruce Wayne. So yeah, a lot of room for thought here. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Again, subscribe to the channel. If you're on Spotify, make sure you follow, and you can send me a message on Twitter or Instagram if you want me to cover any topics. Make sure you leave a like on YouTube. Make sure you check out the channel as well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.